This video is going to demonstrate how to create a two-tier application with a data file. For this example, we're going to create a web application. So I've selected C# and web and scroll through here and find ASP empty website and select that. Two-tier phone. Now here in Visual Studio, it's an empty website, so it does not show me my initial web form. I'm going to right mouse click on the solution in Solution Explorer, go to Add and select Web Form. We'll call it phone. This will become an ASPX file, and I can go to Design View. And over here in the toolbox, not quite the same as a Windows form application, but we do have controls you can drag and drop. And I've dragged a label, and I'm going to make it say Enter Phone, like the Windows application did. And we'll grab a text box. I don't have a masked text box. I would like to rename this text box to Phone Text Box. We will be accessing it in our source code, and you will be surprised at how similar the source code will be. And let's find a button. We'll have that button say Submit, and come up to the ID property instead of name property, and call it Submit Button. Pretty plain web form here. I'm going to double click just like we did with the Windows form. What it's going to do is it's going to open the source code for me. Very similar. This time I do see the using directives here. And let's type our source code, create my string variables. For the text file, I think I'll use the same text file. So I'm going to go to File, Open, File. One. Here's my text file. I will right mouse click on it, go to copy full path again, and now I have my path. If you recall in the earlier application, we use the @ symbol so that the backslashes will not be considered part of an escape sequence. So this will be my phone text box. Again, just like in the Windows app, it's the text property that we're accessing here. Now we're going to type our code in for the StreamWriter object. And you will see some red squiggly lines here. The reason there's red squiggly lines is because it's a part of a namespace that's not included up here. So if you would just put your mouse pointer over here and come to this hint, the hint is, why don't you add that? And I clicked on that, and it's added that. And notice that it's kind of fixing itself. So we're going to append text to this file. So here's my object name, there's my right line, there's my phone. We're actually done. I will go ahead and clear that out. Just like we did before. So it behaves exactly the same. However, it's a web form app. It will be a two-tier app. When you install Visual Studio, you will get IIS Express. I don't know if you know what IIS is. That is the web server. So you have a mini web server on your computer now just for development purposes and for testing purposes when you create client-server web applications. I'm going to go ahead and execute this. Here it is. I did have an extra parenthesis and I debugged that. And I will add another phone number. Oh, we don't have the input mask here, so just have to remember the correct input. And click Submit. Notice it's cleared. Notice localhost means that this computer is acting as the host to the web server. If you look at the source code, this is the client side. So I'm right mouse clicking, here's the source code. It's simply an HTML file. There's no way of knowing the location of that data file by just looking at this code alone. And I close this out, and the code that will have the location of my phone numbers will be then in the ASPX.cs file, which is on an application server somewhere. So you could have the client, which is the browser, having the front end, the presentation end, and then your back end could be the application that contains the path that might be hacked, that contains the data. So that is our two-tier application.